Let me find it.
There
Let
is
me
a
chase it down.
hard limit of 120. I don't think we're crossing it at scale. And here's an
At
interesting...
scale.
Well, like
But with unique individuals, like this Brian Johnson guy who's taking his son's blood and transfusing it into his own. And
super cool, love what he's doing, but so much of it is cosmetic. He colors his hair, he makes it look better, but like how much of it is going to make him live longer, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Here's what I noticed. We keep electing older and older politicians, presidents, senators. You'd think we're trying to send a hint, like use some of our tax dollars to solve aging.
Yeah,
and
but
they don't seem to take the bait.
No, they don't take the bait. The problem is the type of people that want to be politicians. That is not the type of people that you really want running anything. You almost want involuntary politicians. You almost want like very benevolent, super intelligent people that don't want the job.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to have like, you know, like some countries have voluntary enlistment in the military. Maybe you want to have a voluntary...
Involuntary.
Involuntary. Instead of voluntary politicians, because then you're only going to get sociopaths. Maybe you just want to draft certain highly intelligent but benevolent people.
Problem is, highly intelligent people are not aligned with average people. What they find desirable and valuable may not be well received by general public.
Right. That's true too.
So that's a big concern. At least here you have a representative of the people, whatever that means.
Sort of. You really have the representative of major corporations and special interest groups, which is also part of the problem, is that you've allowed money to get so deeply intertwined with the way decisions are made.
It feels like money gets canceled. Each side gets $1 billion donation, and then it's actual election.
Sort of, except it's like the Bill Hicks joke. It's like there's one puppet holding, one politician holding two puppets is one guy. This is my thinking about AI in terms of and super intelligence and just computing power in general in terms of the ability to solve encryption. All money is essentially now just numbers somewhere.
Not Bitcoin. It's not fakeable in the same way. It's numbers, obviously, but I mean, you cannot just print more of it.
True. But it's encrypted. And once encryption is tackled, the ability to hold on to it and to acquire mass resources and hoard those resources. Like, this is the question that people always have with poor people. Well, this guy's got, $500 billion. Why doesn't he give it all to the world and then everybody be rich? I've actually saw that on CNN, which is really hilarious. Someone was talking about Elon Musk, that if Elon Musk could give everyone in this country $1 million and still have billions left over. I'm like, do you have a calculator on your phone, you fucking idiot? Just go do that. Just write it out on your phone. You're like, oh, no, he couldn't. Sorry,
and if
I
you did, it would
that.
just cause hyperinflation. That's all you would accomplish.
You'd have 300 million lottery winners that would blow the money instantaneously. You give everybody $1 million, you're not going to solve all the world's problems because it's not sustainable. You would just completely elevate your spending, and you would go crazy, and you wouldn't. Money would lose all value to you. It would be very strange, and then it would be chaos. Just like it's chaos with, like, if you look at the history of people that win the lottery, then no one does well. It's almost like a curse to win the lottery.
They're not used to dealing with it.
Right.
People abuse them.
Right.
If you gradually become rich and famous, you kind of know how to handle it, how to say no.
Yeah.
If you go from nothing to a large amount of money, it's not going to work out well.
Gradually is the word, right? I was very fortunate that I became famous and wealthy very slowly, like a trickle effect. And that it happened to me really where I didn't want it. It was kind of almost like an accident. I just wanted to be a working professional comedian, but then all of a sudden I got a development deal to be on television. I'm like, okay, they're going to give me that money. I'll go do it. But it wasn't a goal. And then that led to all these things. Then it led to this podcast, which was just for fun. I was like, oh, this would be fun. And then all of a sudden it's like I'm having conversations with world leaders and I'm turning down a lot of them because I don't want to talk to them.
So it's your simulation, basically.
Yeah, well, my simulation is fucking weird. It's weird. But through whatever this process is, I have been able to understand what's valuable as a human being, and to not get caught up in this bizarre game that a lot of people are getting caught up in because they're chasing this thing that they think is impossible to achieve. And then once they achieve a certain aspect of it, a certain number, then they're terrified of losing that. So then they change all of their behavior in order to make sure that this continues. And then it ruins the whole purpose of getting there in the first place. It's not fun.
Yeah, most people start poor, then they get to middle class, and they think that change in quality of life is because of money, and it will scale to the next level.
Right.
And you hit a point where you can only eat so many steaks. It just doesn't scale.
Right, then you go Elvis, and you just get on pills all day and get crazy and, completely ruin your life. And that happens to most, especially people that get wealthy and not just well, but famous too. Fame is the big one, because I've seen that happen to a lot of people that accidentally became famous along the way. Certain public intellectuals that took a stance against something, and then all of a sudden they're prominent in the public eye, and then you watch them kind of go crazy. Well, why is that? Well, it's because they're reading social media and they're interacting with people constantly, and they're just trapped in this very bizarre version of themselves that other people have sort of created. It's not really who they are, and they don't meditate. They don't spend. If they do, they're not good at it. Whatever they're doing, they're not doing it correctly, because it's a very complicated problem to solve. Like what do you do when the whole world is watching? Like, how do you handle that, and how do you maintain any sense of personal sovereignty? How do you just be? How do you just be just be a human, normal human, when you're not normal? Like, on paper, it's impossible.
It's hard. You can't go to a public place with no security. You're worried about your kids being kidnapped. There's all those issues you don't think about. I want to be famous. It's going to be great for me. And you don't realize it's going to take away a lot.
Yeah, it just gets super weird. And that's the version of the simulation that a giant portion of our society is struggling to achieve.